Time now for a look at what new films are hitting theaters and streaming services this weekend. We're joined live by film critic Richard Crouse. Richard, once again, thanks so much for joining us.
Oh, thanks for having me.
So the first movie is the latest Marvel film, Thor, Love and Thunder. What did you think?
Well, it's a funny film because they use Guns N' Roses music all the way through this. There's 3 or 4 Guns N' Roses songs in it at the very least. But it would have been more appropriate, I think, to use 10cc's song, The Things We Do for Love, because this is a big superhero movie that's all about love. When we first find Thor, he has lost everyone meaningful in his life. He's living a life of quiet contemplation, only going into battle when he's really needed. When another bad guy, a villain, shows up, played by Christian Bale, who's made it his life's mission to destroy all the gods, Thor comes back into action, but both are driven by love or love lost. And it sounds like it might be kind of heavy, but this was directed by Taika Waititi, and so there's loads of jokes, there's loads of visual gags in here. I gave Thor Love and Thunder 4 out of 5 stars. The storytelling is a little bit messy, but the movie's a lot of fun, and it doesn't really feel like all the Marvel movies that have come before it, and I appreciated that.
And of course, any Marvel movie is just great to watch on the big screen to see every little bit of the action. All right, next is the animated movie on Netflix called The Sea Beast.
Yeah, this is a movie that is all about not judging a book by its cover. That's the message here, and it's told in a very elaborate story set hundreds of years ago where sea beasts rule the oceans, and the king and queen of a far-off land are determined to convince everyone, including these sailors who go out to hunt the sea beasts, that the sea beasts are terrible, they're monsters, they're here to destroy us. And then there is a change of heart by one sea captain and a young stowaway, and they realize that maybe the sea beasts aren't so bad, they're just misunderstood. There's more to the movie here, but it's really beautifully animated. It's got a nice story. There are a number of good messages here. Like I say, never judge a book by the cover. And good voice work by Carl Urban, who we all know from The Boys and lots of other things. So I gave The Sea Beast on Netflix right now 4 out of 5 stars.
All right, those poor sea beasts. They're just misunderstood, right?
They are. They are.
So tell us about Stanley Villa, a movie you described as willfully weird.
This is a willfully weird movie. It's kind of surreal. It's kind of like if Samuel Beckett wrote The Squid Game, but without that giant Cupid doll character that we all saw in the first episode of that show. This is a movie about a competition where 4 or 5 strangers are thrown together in some sort of strange facility, and they are given tasks to do. And it might be something as simple as blowing up a balloon, and whoever wins that will get a mark on the board that you see on the screen here. Or it might be something as complicated as writing an anthem that will appeal to everyone, everywhere in the world, and make the world a happier place. So there's lots of things going on here. Ultimately, the goal is self-enlightenment for all these characters. The movie, I think, kind of loses its way with the story as you get nearer the end, but there's a lot of interesting ideas peppered throughout this, and some fun performances too. So I gave it 3 out of 5 stars, and it's on VOD right now.
All right, and finally, just a little bit of time left, a documentary about New York's legendary Chelsea Hotel.
Yeah, this is a cool movie because it takes a different tack than almost everything else that you've ever heard or read about the Chelsea Hotel. It's not the story of Sid Vicious and Nancy Spungen living there, or Patti Smith, or Arthur C. Clarke, or any of the hundreds of very famous people that for a time called that hotel home. It's about the people that are living there right now as the hotel is being renovated and turned into a boutique hotel. And so a lot of these people are artists who have lived there for 30, 40, 50 years, and really represent the last of a dying breed, the New York avant-garde artists. And it's a fascinating look at them and the changing face of not only the Chelsea Hotel, but of New York City as well. So that's in theaters right now, and I gave it 3.5 out of 5 stars.
Richard Crouse, always a pleasure. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.